Hey Gossip Ghouls, welcome to the Hot Ghouls Club, and if you love true crime and creepy cases, tap follow so you never miss an episode. As always, I'm your host Jamie.
And I'm Tara. And then there's that every time.
Every time. I think that there's a ghost in here that like waits for another guest to like come in and like be on our podcast, and then that way as soon as that happens, they're like, look at this fucking bitch fry and just squirm and have all the panic in her eyes that she tries to set up this fucking audio. But the two of them, you're welcome. Enjoy.
And I never even vouch for you. I just like continue talking to the person. I know you always do it silently, and then you're like, this like 10 minutes later, you're like, I got it. And you're like, I was like, you were suffering. Oh, can we turn on the light?
I do. Oh yeah.
I love the light. I'm sorry. It's kind of become like a compulsion of mine. I also have convinced myself it makes it 100 times brighter in here, and then every time I turn it on, I'm like, oh.
Well, no, it definitely makes a difference, but and I still love it's like red recording.
Yeah.
I have a hoarder problem, and I need to fix this.
We don't need to touch that because I'm not the girl. I'm not the girl to tell you just put stuff to give it away.
I'm a maximalist every way you can possibly think about it.
I have over 100 Safari things open.
Rightfully so.
Half of them are shopping. But then last night I am like,
I love to window shop.
Looking up phone detoxing, how to stop being consumerist. And then there's more shopping.
As you're just adding more and more tabs.
I'm at 108 tabs. It's a problem.
That's wild.
Kevin has over 500.
Wait, what about, so like tabs, okay, but what about different apps? Like, do you?
I don't keep those. Like, I at least once a week will close it.
I'm a full on. Apps will run rampant in my background. I have no idea until like maybe like a month later, and I just like decide to swipe up to see what's going on, and then it takes me like at least 2 minutes to close everything out because every single app is
fuck
open.
Up your battery?
It fucks up my battery.
Oh, it does. Okay.
And I don't notice it until I get over it. I'm like, why the fuck is this thing fucking dying every fucking second?
and then it's too late.
Yeah, I was doing it one time. I was at a spooky walk at the Rise of the Jack-o'-lanterns that like out west. Super fun.
I've been.
But I was like in the front seat, and we were waiting for somebody, and the people in the back seat, my brother-in-law, he's like watching me do this, and like I finished it, I'm like, I don't notice he's watching. He goes, Jamie. I was like, what? He was like,
I wish everyone saw that.
He was like, the amounts of apps that were open in your phone, it's crazy.
You're just like sitting in the back seat, like shook,
and I'm just like, still.
Yeah, no, Kevin's Safaris are out of control, but he'll judge if you have apps open, which is crazy.
How dare somebody with a lot of tabs judge anybody with apps?
He's a judgery-do.
He can do it.
But you know what I was talking? You know what I was actually telling myself here?
What? I
was like, you know what? I judge people, and I'm a hypocrite about it because I'll do the same fucking thing, but I'll judge you.
and that's my place.
And that's
world.
my place to
that's
do
my
that.
Place. That was my God-given right.
My God-given right.
Be able to judge thou for things I've done and currently do,
and will continue to do. And I'm a liar. No, I'm just kidding. One more.
I'm a thief.
On that, welcome back to the Hot Ghouls Club.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Jamie.
And I'm Tara. So I think first we should thank everybody for sticking with us with the last two like long form episodes where we did something different.
Yes.
The first one was Death at Parties, and then the second one was Spooky Stories.
But I guess Sinister Sisters just kind of kicked that off.
Sinister Sisters did, but that was like a month ago. Yeah. And then there's the Reddit ones, like the Spooky Stories we did.
True.
And then Jamie and I briefly talked about something yesterday that we're going to do, not next week because that's Graveyard Gossip, but the week after.
Get ready.
So get ready. It's that time of the year.
It's a bite. It's a shark bite.
Oh, is it?
It's a
Shark Week.
It's a Shark Week.
Yay. So we're going to be doing some shark related cases, and we're very excited about that. I personally love sharks. I want to swim at sharks. I have a tattoo of a shark. I love sharks.
Me too. I'm everything about the water. I have multiple tattoos of water-esque things. Super jealous of the shark tattoo. Want it. I want to carve that out of your skin and sew it onto my body. That's how much I love it.
Okay, you could also get one.
Yeah, but that's like more money.
I know,
You know
it's
what I
more
mean?
money. Yeah, I mean, it's just a patch on my skin. I
just
could
a
take
patch
it
on
from
your skin.
any
Do you
other
really
part
need
of
it?
my body. It's all the same.
Exactly.
But I'm very excited because I love Shark Week. I love that part of the summer.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch 2 or 3 things on Shark Week, but it's a lot to consume.
It's a lot. I'm not a heavy consumer of it. Like, I'll watch it here and there. I'm not gonna like watch it every single day while it's on. It's not my vibe to do that. But I do love it, and I'll actually watch it like when it's off season. I'll just
Absolutely.
like, put on, like,
I'll
a
see.
random
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And I saw a shark-shaped purse that I really want.
Where?
It's called JWPEI.
I have no idea who that is.
They do a lot of ads on Instagram, and they have like cool bags, obviously.
Yeah, but are you targeted for it? I get targeted a lot from like JTV and QVC.
Never in my life have been targeted by those things.
Yeah, I get turned on from that from my mommy. My
Mama?
mamacita.
Mama?
If anybody's been watching, oh, that's fun.
That's fun. I want
That
it.
is fun. If anybody's watching Love Island, none of my friends have, and they just don't understand that. Like,
Did you watch last year?
no.
So I don't even want to hear this because I was so involved last year.
Where are you this year with me? I want you
It's
involved
too late.
this year. I'm in it
I know.
now.
I know. If you don't get on board week 1, I'm 40 hours behind at this point.
I binged the fuck out of multiple. It's crazy. They're like an hour long.
They're over a fucking hour long, and it's 6 days or 7 or 5 days a week, something crazy.
I'm Team Huda.
Listen, I've been watching a lot on TikTok, and she definitely has had an
A
arc.
redemption arc for sure.
But
They're all of them are really young. She's like in her mid-20s. I mean, she is a mom, so she
They
doesn't
are really
definitely
young.
has like a good head on her shoulders ish. You can kind of see she can take criticism really well because she does take the feedback well. Whether or not she like listens to it is one thing, but I think she has been really trying to be better. And she does take the feedback that people have and the criticism that people have. But even then, a lot of the criticism and things that caused her to crash out are at the hands of like the people she's there with, which is like fucked up. Because
I
like
saw.
if they had just let her and Jeremiah like twiddle-dee twiddle-duh. I mean, they did love bomb a lot, but I think that Ace and Nick and really those two were like the catalyst to the other islanders like ganging up on them and saying you can't be just closed off A1. Well, why can't you be super attracted to this one person and want to explore that one person? Why do you have to fuck around with every single other person?
I think I've seen this film before, and I did not like the ending. Okay? This is last season. They try to get Cordell to leave Serena, talking all this shit, having him hook up with some Casa girl. But you know what? Love won in the end.
Good.
And I know that's not the case for Huda and Jeremiah. I've only seen episode 1.
Jeremiah's out.
And I've seen. But I would also say that I didn't love the way Jeremiah moved. I feel like he moved in 2 different worlds. Like he moved in this world where he like was super respectful of Huda and didn't want to kiss other girls.
Those boys
and
got
then
in
he
his
was
head.
and then he was making out with people. I don't know. I did feel like it looked a little weird. So I probably won't tune in. But God bless you because it is a fucking journey.
No, because she's with the guy that she's with right now. I love for her.
Yeah, his name's Chris, right? Everybody loves him.
Oh my God, he is hot.
Yeah,
He
no,
is
he
a
looks like
tall
big and
drink
hot.
of water.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Tall drink of water.
I'll climb that
He
tree
looked
if I
hot,
could.
and I
I
did see
swear
it
to
looks
God.
like Shelly was trying to get with him, and he's just like, I'm not interested.
Well, the problem with Shelly is that she really wants Ace, but she wants other guys to want her too. And she's
Shelly is
gorgeous. I've never seen anybody more beautiful in my
She
life.
looks like a doll.
I could not believe somebody actually looks like that in real life.
No, she's crazy beautiful. Honestly, Olandria is also beautiful, even though I know she's evil.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Elandria is hot. I mean, she's the one that her ass. I know it's been said time and time again, but I think it cannot be said enough.
Just phenomenal.
No notes.
You could bounce a coin off that.
I actually love that she has stretch marks on them, and it's not like something that, like, I think I love it because it's like a real body.
It's a real body, and it's a good body.
And it's out there and being
Huda's
worn
is real
loud
too.
and proud.
Because
I love
people
she's
thought
got
she had a
some
little BBL.
cellulite. No.
But she's like if you had gone deep onto her Instagram, you see like her progression of it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really cool. No, the women are gorgeous. The men are
mid.
From episode 1, I have been rooting for Shelly and Ace simply because They met in New York when
Yeah.
he was from Cali. She's from
Yeah.
Florida. And then it didn't work out because they're from 2 different states. But
Yeah.
they met in a third state, and now they're both on Love Island. Like,
But apparently people are saying that they actually got together outside of Love Island and that they had some sort of like, this is a good conspiracy, that they had some sort of agreement where they would go on the show when they're going to explore different options while they get in there. But like they have rules. Like the rules could be that they could not kiss outside of the outside of challenges, and they can't really explore outside of like they had like these weird rules that people are saying that they have with each other.
my only thing
Yeah.
is that's fucking impossible unless they know a producer, because how could they guarantee that they would both be on the show?
It's almost like the thing that happened with Love is Blind.
I have no idea what that is. I mean, I know what Love is Blind. I don't know what happened.
So there was like this one season, I think it was last season maybe, but I don't know because I fell off watching that. But there was this one contestant that was on there that was talking to some guy, and obviously like the whole premise is like you don't know who you're talking to, you just know the voice, or you just hear the voice. However, the woman ended up knowing the voice, and what it came out was that it was this guy that she had briefly talking to before she went on the show, but she was like, listen, like I can't do anything serious right now because I have this lined up in my future, this being the show, and that you know, maybe we can link up after, but for right now I'm really gonna like put my all eggs in like this basket or whatever. As it turns out, he heard that, applied for the show, got hired, or got you know let on or whatever, and he tried to create a connection with her, and
I
like
love that.
made pretend that he didn't know her at first.
I love that. That's the type of psycho I love.
I was like, okay, that's
You like me enough. You found out that after, as we're talking, that I'm going on a dating show. You then infiltrate that dating show and work on making a connection with me. They write books about psychotic men like that, and I love it.
I think I'd rather in a book. I think
No,
in
I
real
mean,
life,
I
it's like a
think
man
every-
has you told back off, is now said, oh, I know where you're gonna be.
But I
know
just
what time
feel
you're gonna
like-
be, and I'm gonna reach out, and then I'm gonna be there, and then I'm gonna pretend that I'm not somebody you know, and then we're gonna be together forever, and that's it.
Love.
Oh,
But here's the thing. She was unsure, obviously, about their connection outside. As it wasn't strong enough that she was going to say no to this show, right?
Yeah,
Understandably.
yeah.
But maybe he's like, I know that this is the love of my life. We're going to be together. There's an obstacle in for us to get together. I'm going to remove that obstacle.
there's two sides to every coin.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say
You never really know what's going on inside somebody's head.
some people would welcome it, and others would put a restraining order on it.
Speaking of restraining orders, let's talk about a guy who should have thousands of them.
Let's go.
We're going to be covering the Yosemite National Park murders of 1999.
Ooh.
So I'm going to be doing a deep dive case on this one. I know you guys have been jonesing for a long case. And I just felt like the summertime, national parks, like even though, well, actually one of these murders didn't happen in the summer. It just gave me summer vibes, and that's just kind of the topic that I wanted to do. So in 1999, a case shattered the sense of safety so many people feel in our national parks. And over 6 months, a man named Cary Stayner murdered 4 women in and around Yosemite, leaving behind fear, heartbreak, and unanswered questions that still haunt the park's history. Before we get into the gory details, though, and there are plenty of gory details, I want to center the story on the women who lost their lives and then on the man responsible for taking them.
Love this.
Okay. I gotta make sure I'm super zoomed in. So first, we have Carole Sund, 42-year-old mother, wife, and daughter. She was one of 5 children to her parents, Frances and Carol Carrington, and was described as kind and empathetic, someone who dedicated herself to advocating for abused children and often stood up for them in court in her hometown of Eureka, California.
Wow.
She was known for her warmth and her ability to see the best in people, even volunteering at local schools. On this trip, she was taking her daughter and her daughter's close friend to visit the University of the Pacific and to spend time exploring the beauty of Yosemite National Park.
Oh my God. She was with her daughter and her daughter's best friend.
Yeah.
How old was she?
The mom was 42.
Okay.
And side note, something so sweet. The mother and her husband, when they got married years earlier, honeymooned at Yosemite. Like, they loved national parks. They loved Yosemite.
That was like their spot. That was like her place.
It was. Next is Juli Sund. Her name is Juliana, but she goes by Juli, so I'll call her Juli. Is Carole's 15-year-old daughter. Juli was described as having a strong, confident personality, much like her mother, and a competitive spirit. She was on our high school's cheerleading team, and they were actually visiting the they were in the town of Stockton, I think it was called, for a cheer competition. And that's why they also decided to visit the University of the Pacific, because they wanted to check out their cheer program as Juli was starting to think about college. I mean, she was only 15, but I mean, you're like a sophomore at that time.
And
you have
honestly,
to think about it.
Yeah, I think that's like right around the time where a lot of people start thinking about it, especially if you're somebody that's like competitive and somebody that's just putting their like scholastic career first. That's like,
and also like you want to look at the cheer programs if that's what you're going to do for those 4 years. So So Juli loved spending time with her friends and was excited about the trip. And she saw it as both an adventure and a bonding experience with her mom and her best friend. Mm-hmm. And then there is, Silvina Pelosso.
I love
16.
that name.
I know, right?
Silvina.
So Juli and Silvina had been friends since they were babies. Silvina was an Argentinian exchange student staying with the Sund family while attending high school in the U.S.
Wow.
Embracing the opportunity to learn and explore. Fun fact, Carole, Juli's mom, studied abroad in Argentina many years earlier and met Raquel, who would eventually be Silvina's mother. So Carole and Raquel obviously maintained their friendship, and when they had daughters around the same age, because Silvina at the time, I don't know her exact birthday, so obviously anywhere from probably like 6 months to a year older than Juli, were very close, and they, kind of foster that friendship with them, foster that friendship between them. But Silvina's family described her as a bright, curious, and warm young woman, excited to see Yosemite's mountains and waterfalls during her stay. It was a chance to experience the American outdoors before returning home. So she was actually planning on returning home to Argentina shortly after this.
Jeez.
Sadly, this road trip meant to create happy memories would become the last for Carole, Juli, and Silvina.
Yeah, I kind of remember them. I know this story, and I kind of like even remembered like a little bit of their pictures. It's so sad.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting. And then we have a fourth victim, whose name is Joie Armstrong, and was a 26-year-old naturalist working for the Yosemite Institute, living in a small remote cabin within the park.
A man?
A woman.
Joie.
Yeah,
for a woman?
Joie.
Okay.
Joie dedicated her life to environmental education, teaching children about the park's ecosystems, guiding them on nature walks, and even showing them how to balance rocks in the streams, a practice she loved for its quiet focus and connection to nature.
Cute.
Her friends described her as full of light, with love for baking and a passion for living simply and intentionally within Yosemite's beauty. She had just returned from visiting her family and was preparing for a weekend getaway when her life was violently cut short.
Jesus.
These were 4 women with hopes, dreams, and futures, taken by a man who should have been a footnote in the background of Yosemite's natural beauty, but became its nightmare instead. Next, we'll talk about Cary Stayner, who he was, and how a family marked by tragedy would also become linked to horrifying violence before we take you through the chilling timeline of what happened in Yosemite in 1999.
His name's Cary.
So, since Cary is the monster behind these crimes, there's a lot more information out there about him than there is about his victims. I just feel like, unfortunately, that's just like how it goes.
It's just so terrible because like he's taking, like, I just feel like if you're a woman or even if you're just a hiker, you're a wholesome person. Very little do I think people that hike are evil. I don't know what it is. I just like in my head, you're an all around nice person if you hike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and he hiked.
But then he also killed.
No, yes. That came with it.
Yeah, honestly, though, yeah, if I saw somebody, I might die. If I go hiking and I see somebody and they could be like, Cary. And I'm like, hi, mister, how are you? Oh, my God, my little red self. I'm trying to hike up this little fucking mountain.
Easy target.
Easy target. I'm already trusting you.
I'm already half dead.
I've already done a lot of the work for you.
Seriously. Leading up to this point, there's going to be a very little fight.
Honestly, I would just welcome it with Warm arms.
So unfortunately, Cary was not that person. But before the murders that would later happen in Yosemite even happened, Cary and his family had already had a tragic and complicated history.
Oh, wow.
So Cary was born in 1961 in Merced, California, and was the eldest of 5 children in the Stayner family. He had 3 sisters and 1 younger brother, Stephen Stayner, who would later become the center of a nationally known kidnapping case. We'll get back to that.
Okay. I'm shook.
That could be its own episode. And it is.
Really?
Actually. For not this podcast, but for other podcasts. So, from my understanding, the Stayners were Mormon. But despite the appearance of a typical suburban family, there was a lot happening behind closed doors. Cary's mother, Kay Stayner, was emotionally distant, having been sexually abused by her own father growing up, a trauma that left her withdrawn and unable to connect deeply with her children.
Oh my God.
And then Cary's father, Delbert Stayner, struggled with rage and control issues. He was known to yell and scream, particularly at the crying infant Cary, creating an environment filled with fear and tension in the household.
Oh my God.
So something I hear when I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts and they say you can feel bad for the baby, you don't feel bad for the murderer.
Yeah, I just feel like therapy, you know what I mean? Like, go and seek help.
I don't mention this, but like there's like 1 or 2 instances where he does go to like get help and nothing really happens.
Does he just not stick with it, or is it like crappy people, or do we not know?
I know one, and I'll mention it later, of like what it is. So from an early age, Cary showed signs of emotional and mental struggles. He developed trichotillomania, a compulsive disorder that caused him to pull out clumps of his hair to self-soothe when overwhelmed. Leaving bald patches he would try to hide under hats.
I went to school and was somewhat friends with a girl that had that. She had to have a wig.
Isn't trichotillomania like the picking of skin? Or is it it's the hair pulling specifically?
I don't know if it's specific. Like, I know that for her it was for hair, so it could be for both. I don't know if it's for necessarily just hair, if it's for hair and skin, but
I don't know if it's another thing for like not when you're on drugs picking skin, but like that self-harm picking thing, which is kind of like the hair pulling.
Yeah.
But despite these struggles, Cary was described by people who knew him as quiet and polite, though often awkward, and someone who felt like an outsider even in his own family. His mental health issues only worsened as he got older, and he was often described as lonely, shy, and disconnected even within his family. Cary found it difficult to form close friendships and relationships, spending much of his time alone, drawing and retreating into his imagination, which would later be revealed to be filled with dark and violent fantasies. Cary would have violent sexual fantasies about women, and his fantasies typically included obedient, quiet women.
Oh my God.
So I did know of one instance. I don't know when it happened, but I think because he had these horrible thoughts, he did go to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And he would also dream these things. So he did go to a psychiatrist, and I think he either got like anti-anxiety or some sort of medication, right?
Yeah.
He started taking it, and he stopped dreaming altogether. He stopped having the thoughts, but he also stopped dreaming. And he was like, I can't live without them. Like he needed the dreams. So he just stopped taking it.
Wow. Mm-hmm. It was like a compulsion.
Yeah, like an obsession.
Yeah.
An addiction.
Yeah, like couldn't live without. That's crazy.
However, there was one place where Cary found some peace, and that was the outdoors, especially Yosemite National Park. The natural beauty and vastness of Yosemite became a refuge for him, and spending time there was one of the few ways he connected with his father, who also shared a love for nature. Camping, hiking, and exploring the trails around Yosemite allowed Cary to escape the tension at home and feel a sense of calm he couldn't find anywhere else.
Wait, his dad would his dad go with him?
Yes.
That seems like a bad.
No.
It's good.
It's good.
Okay.
But then it gets a little bad. But so while Cary was growing up, like I said, his family faced a tragedy that would have forever changed them. So going back into the brother.
Yeah.
In 1972, Cary's younger brother, Stephen Stayner, was kidnapped at just 7 years old while walking home from school in Merced, California. This was really hard on Cary and his family, obviously. Cary was older than Stephen by like 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
But he felt a deep sense of guilt that he wasn't there to protect him. And even though his parents seemed like these very emotionally distant people, they took the kidnapping and disappearance of their son extremely hard, understandably.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's like the 80s at that point, right?
72.
72. And just like during, I mean, the 70s, you thought you could do anything and get away with it. No, there's like no harm to come from you. And that was like where all the bad people really thrived, because victims everywhere.
Very, very true. And the Stayner family's life revolved around searching for him and hoping for his return. So like they used to pack up the whole car, all of the family, and go to the park on the weekend and camp and hike and all of that. And now every weekend, every free minute was driving around towns in California looking for their son. Like the dad was like a puddle of tears, and he was normally very stoic. He was like very short with his other children.
That was his youngest? Was that the baby?
I don't know if it was the youngest. I know it was the youngest son. I think it was the youngest. But the youngest son, and it was son that he had like a little bit more of a connection to, the father. And he would be very, and like obviously Cary, you know, while also I think naturally, if this ever does happen to a family, resentment does build, because you lose the parents that you were going to have. And
it's just, you lose everything. You lose the parents you're going to have, the family you're going to have. You, like, the questions don't stop. Like,
they don't
what
stop.
If I was there? All the what ifs. They just,
and
it's
also,
a constant stream.
When somebody is taken at a young age or kidnapped or murdered, they're also like infallible too at the same time. Like they're, you know, everything's compared to Stephen, and everything revolves around Stephen. Like I think at one point he even like erased something that Stephen had written, maybe out of like hurt, whatever, that freaked the fuck out on him.
Yeah, just, I mean, like, yeah, because it's to some people, like, to see that as a constant reminder. Maybe he just needed the relief of like not seeing that anymore, and he tried to do it himself out of like, you know, his own anger. Of being, you know, of himself. Like when he was at that age, he said that he felt responsible. So maybe he went to erase it because he was like, I can't take looking at this knowing that I was the one that should have been there for him, or whatever was the case. And then his parents freaked out because they want to cherish every last thing that their
son left behind.
Yeah.
But wait, in 1980, Stephen comes home. Yeah.
I almost spit out my fucking drink. What?
Yes. So 1980, Stephen makes it home. He escaped.
What was he? Was he trafficked?
So in 1972, he was kidnapped by a man named Kenneth Parnell.
Fuck you, Kenneth.
Who was a pedophile.
Oh.
Yep.
That is so unfortunate.
Disgusting. So he kidnapped him at 7. And messed up with his memories a little bit, kind of said like he adopted him, like kind of played with him. Yeah. Obviously sexually abused him for 7 years. But by the time Stephen turned 14, he wasn't interested in Stephen anymore. He kidnapped a 5-year-old named Timothy White.
Was this the case where Stephen was like, I can't let this happen to my little brother?
Well, not little brother, or maybe he thought it was like a little brother.
Like, he was like, I can't let this happen to another one. I needed this needs to stop now.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So that's that case within this case. So so I believe what was written is that Timothy was with them for 2 weeks. He saw what was happening to Timothy, what had happened to him.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't watch this. I don't remember the details of how it happened, but he
was quick with it. Like the second he realized what was happening, he was like, he just physically could not do it.
And so he went to the police.
Oh my god. And at that point, that guy already trusted him.
Like I mean, at that point, maybe his guards were down.
Absolutely.
Because Stephen was going to school.
Yeah. For that
very similar to
the
Suzanne Savakis case.
Ooh, yeah.
Because like he kidnapped her, but then like she would still go to school. She like pretended to be the father, but then would do all these horrible things behind closed doors.
Yep, and she just kind of went with it until she had her second kid, and then she was like,
she never stopped going with it. Remember, he killed her.
Well, I thought she was trying to be like done with him.
Kind of, but I don't know if she ever really would have. Anyway,
true. She was
Stephen's
very lost.
return was obviously seen as a miracle, and his story received national attention, even becoming a very well-known or like well-done TV movie called I Know My First Name is Stephen, because I think that's what he said, kind of like what he went to the police.
Yes.
And so while the world saw Stephen as a hero, the family struggled to adjust, and Cary often felt overshadowed in the chaos that followed. So that time in Cary's life, paired with his own mental health issues, would quietly shape what was to come.
Yeah, clearly if he, at that point, is his brother's home safe and all that, and he's still having these issues of like, I'm still not being the one looked at, that's like, Honestly, like if his parents were...
so he was super happy his brother was found. Like literally he was out somewhere and his mom called him and said, or mom or dad called him and was like, you need to come home. Steven is like, they found Steven, he's coming home.
Oh, was it
and there's
just like
even like footage of them reuniting. He's so happy with his hat, all of this stuff on, but you literally, I'm not even kidding you, see him physically get pushed behind like the group of people, but he's still happy.
Yeah.
Like he's still talking, like looking at his brother. His brother's like answering questions.
Yeah.
Tragically.
Stop. Don't.
Like 10 years later, Steven was riding a motorcycle. No helmet. No license.
Steven.
Crashed. Died.
Steven, what was this for?
What was the
Steven?
reason? What was the reason?
What was the reason, Steven?
Yeah. What a life.
Mean, honestly, back in the day, people are fucking idiots, but like, what you don't know what you don't know. I mean, at that point, you should know. He was just trying to be cool without his little helmet and his little motorcycle gear, but like...
Wear a helmet, kids.
Wear a helmet. It's really not that difficult. Steven could have been around alive and kicking at this point.
Absolutely.
So when Steven was alive, was Cary slashing, murdering, killing, or no? When did that start in relative?
No, because Steven would have died in the 80s, and this happened in the late 90s.
Steven.
It's all Steven's fault.
Steven, I'm so sorry, babe. No, just
okay,
kidding.
So we're gonna get into the murders now. So
Okay.
I do want to trigger warning.
Terrible.
Just horrible. It's gory. I get in a little bit into detail.
We haven't had a trigger warning in a while.
I know, but
This is crazy.
Triggers be warned.
Is bad.
So on February 15th, 1999.
Oh, a day after Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm. Carole and the girls spent the day hiking and sightseeing around Yosemite. As they were settling into their motel room near Yosemite, they heard a knock at the door. It was the motel's handyman, Cary Stayner. Legitimately, the hotel's handyman.
Oh my God.
Cary told Carole he needed to do some maintenance in the bathroom and asked Carole to let him in. At first, Carole didn't want to let him in, but when Cary offered to get the manager to confirm, she eventually relented and allowed him inside. Cary then went into the ensuite bathroom and pretended to work, putting on an act of fixing something while planning something far darker.
Fuck you, Cary.
Cary would emerge from the bathroom, gun in hand. Cary bound to duct tape all three victims. He would swiftly take Carole's life. I have two different sources, one saying by gunshot wound and the other by strangulation with a rope. I think the strangulation is
maybe
more
both.
plausible. I'll tell you why we don't know. Cary would then spend the next hour or so sexually assaulting the teenage girls. Silvina reportedly was very upset and was crying. This irritated Cary, as he preferred his women like the ones in his fantasies, quiet and submissive. So Cary decided to end Silvina's life.
This is his first act that we know of? This is like his first offense?
Yeah.
Crazy entrance.
Yeah. He would like try to look at his like female cousins naked. And he
Ew.
did try to like touch one of his sister's friends at a sleepover once. Like a boob.
Okay, so like,
but there was no violent
smaller offense.
There's like little things that came out after. Obviously, he was caught and arrested, which he will be. Like, you know, he was like punching this piece of wood over and over again, like little things, but no criminal history that I'm aware of.
Yeah, like no, like like deviances that had started from like peeping Tom to like a buildup of like that kind of.
Well, there was the peeping Tom
because of the boob thing,
because of his like cousins, but they just would brush it off.
That's true.
So anyway, like I said, because Silvina was hysterical, he decided to end her life.
Oh my God.
Probably using the same rope he used on Carole.
Oh my God.
Cary then stuffed both Carole and Silvina in the trunk of Carole's rented vehicle, as well as their belongings. He then made Juli ride up front with him as he drove around and found a spot in the nearby woods.
Jesus Christ.
He took Juli to a secluded spot where he sexually assaulted her and told her he loved her.
Ew.
He then slit her throat because he thought it would be quick and painless. But on the contrary, he did a piss poor job and nearly decapitated her head and watched her as she bled out.
That's fucking awful. I can't. What? It's interesting why he chose these women. Like, out of his whole entire. Do you know how long he was at the hotel for?
He had been working at the hotel for several months, and he had stated that he saw them in the motel room. No man.
And that's why.
That's why.
I'm man enough, baby.
I'll take you down.
I'll fuck your shit
Gun
up,
or
baby.
not. Shoot me.
Gun or not. And if you have a gun, you better have backup bullets because I can take a few.
I can take a few.
You better have an excellent aim or a couple bullets in that chamber because I can take a few.
A grazing or two.
Absolutely. And screaming my head off.
Scream.
Scream. And I'm telling anybody else with me, scream.
Scream.
And start throwing shit.
So
Fuck
the next day, February 16th.
Oh my God.
1999. Carol's husband reported his wife, daughter, and their friend missing when they didn't show up to meet him at the airport.
Oh, okay. So they were actually there was a big to-do.
They were settling in for the night, and they were actually going to be leaving, I think, the next morning.
Yeah.
So authorities began their search, checking the motel room, but found nothing immediately alarming. And that's why I think that it wasn't a gunshot, because there would probably be blood.
And I was just thinking the sound.
The sound.
You know, let alone, like, unless he had, like, a silencer on him or something, but...
Listen to this. The floor looked like it had been used, but not violently disturbed. Towels were damp on the bathroom floor, as if somebody had recently showered, and all of their belongings were gone.
But no blood?
No blood. And Cary, wet the towels to make it look like they had, like, gathered everything up, took a shower, and left. Like, he didn't make it look like they were all in a hurry.
It's crazy that he would know, too, because he's been in maintenance. But,
he's a psychopath.
Yeah, obviously, then he would have had to strangle Carole because...
There's no blood.
There was no blood. And
what no one knew at that time was that all three women were already dead. And it would take weeks before their bodies were found and months before authorities would identify who was responsible.
I can't imagine Juli being the last out of all that.
No.
Like, that's the absolute worst spot to be.
Horrible. Several weeks later, in late March, an anonymous letter arrived to the FBI. Mm-hmm. It was handwritten and included a map leading to a remote location in the woods near Yosemite. The letter chillingly read, "We had fun with this one." Stayner even had some underage kid spit into a cup so he could use it to seal the envelope.
What the fuck?
He was covering all of his tracks.
Who's the kid that would he pay him $2 or something?
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's like, here's $5, spit in this cup for me.
I highly doubt he had $5. Following the map, authorities discovered...
Tea. So much shade, I love it.
Following the map, authorities discovered Carol's rented car, abandoned and burned in the forest. Inside of the trunk, they found the remains of Carole and Silvina, and nearby they found Juli's body covered in foliage a short distance away.
Wow.
The bodies and vehicle were so badly burned they could not definitively say the cause of death for Carole or Silvina, and that's why we don't know. It's just they were completely charred.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was strangulation because there might have been like a bone fragments left, and they would have probably been able to identify a gunshot.
Yeah.
The investigation that followed was both chaotic and frustrating. Authorities launched a manhunt, chasing leads that led them to the wrong suspects for months. During this time, they even interviewed Cary Stayner, who was working as a handyman at the motel where Carole and the girls had stayed, but they let him go, unaware that the killer they were searching for was right in front of them.
Wow. Imagine having him all that time ago for him to commit another murder and assault after the fact of those three women. That's crazy.
It's crazy. While authorities were busy investigating a group of local suspects with criminal records and drug connections, Cary Stayner quietly went about his life, blending into the background as a friendly handyman near Yosemite.
And he stayed at the hotel?
Yeah.
Wow.
Months passed, and in July of 1999, Cary crossed paths with Joie Armstrong.
Not Joie.
Joie was living alone in a remote cabin inside of Yosemite National Park, working as a naturalist and educator. She was just 26 years old, passionate about her work, and surrounded by the nature she loved.
And living alone? Girl.
I know, I think she had roommates in her cabin, but they weren't there. Tragically, Joie would become Cary's next victim. So Cary came upon Joie as she was packing for an overnight trip while he was walking in the woods one day. Mm-hmm. He approached her and started talking about Bigfoot, a lifelong fascination for Cary.
Wait, do you think he was stalking her and realized this about her? Maybe he went into the cabin and shit and saw that she had Bigfoot shit around the cabin.
She wasn't a Bigfoot person.
Oh, she wasn't.
Cary was the Bigfoot person.
I'm so sorry.
Joie was polite and maintained a conversation.
Carrie's a lady.
Joie was polite and maintained a conversation for a few minutes, but would excuse herself.
Okay.
Cary took out a gun and held it to Joey's back when she turned her back. So
0
she
to
had turned her
100.
back, and he held a gun and placed it at her back.
So perfect.
Cary then led her into... I accidentally wrote scary instead of Cary because it's C-A-R-Y. Cary then led her into the cabin and bound her with duct tape. He then carried her to his car and placed her in the passenger seat. His plan was to bring her somewhere secluded to rape and murder her. However... Joey put up a valiant effort.
Let's go, Joe.
Kicking and screaming and even fleeing headfirst out of the window from the moving vehicle. She was able to get the window down.
Wow.
Joey took off running, but Cary was close behind with a knife.
Jesus.
When he caught up, she fought, but ultimately she would lose her life. During the attack, Cary went to stab her in the throat. I don't know if his intention was to slit her throat, but his attack was so forceful, he decapitated her.
Jesus.
He thought about keeping the head as a souvenir, but instead just threw it.
Whoever's mom and dad were should never have gotten together. That's crazy.
Her body was found in a nearby creek. I believe it was the next day. And it would take a few more days before the rest of her remains were recovered.
Oh, my God.
Heartbreakingly, Joey's mother, Leslie Armstrong Johnson, learned the gruesome details about what happened to her daughter from a newspaper article she saw at the airport.
I could not imagine.
So she got a call from Yosemite. No.
I'd throw up there on the spot.
So police officers came to the mom's home.
Yeah.
And said that Yosemite was trying to get in touch with her and told her to call this number. So she called the number and they said, "Do you know that your daughter has been missing?" And she said no. Yeah. And they were like, "Well, we found her body, I believe," or something like that.
It was only like a day or two.
And Joey had red hair. So she's like, "Did she have red hair?" And they were like, "We'll get back to you on that," because he didn't have a fucking head.
Fuck.
And so she got on a flight to San Francisco, which I guess is the closest airport to get to Yosemite. And that's when she saw it in the newspaper. So she knew her daughter was dead, but she didn't know that her daughter was decapitated.
Like with the whole thing around. Oh my God.
So Joey's murder would be a break in the case that the authorities so desperately needed. Cary had left behind a ton of evidence. He left behind a ton of evidence, and his intention was to return the next day to clean up his tracks, like he had did with the other murders. Like he was able to keep it very clean. But as he was driving away from Joey's cabin, covered in her blood, his truck broke down. And he had to hitchhike home.
That's what you get, you idiot.
So he left his car on the side of the road and spent the next day at a nudist beach. Side note, Cary fucking loved being naked.
Cary, fucking what's wrong with you?
There's so many things wrong with this man.
There's so many things wrong with you.
Oh my God. I think I had mentioned that Joey was packing for an overnight trip.
Yeah.
And at 3 a.m, when she still hadn't arrived at her friend's house, her friend was getting very worried. She was getting very worried the whole time. So she called the police and asked them to do a welfare check. Yeah. And that's when they saw, they went to her cabin at 7 a.m. The doors were wide open. Music was blasting. And they said that it wasn't like an obvious sign of a struggle or anything, but her truck was still there and there were still things inside her truck, like her bags and stuff. Yeah. So they started searching, and that's that day they came upon her body at 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah. But it was so, like, somebody almost, it was just like civilians that are helping search, and somebody like almost threw up when they saw her body.
Jesus fucking Christ. I can't. Yeah. Like a decapitated body.
So authorities quickly talked to witnesses in the town near where her cabin was, and one said that they saw someone leaving the area with an International Scout SUV. I don't know what type of car that is, but it's a car, and it's the kind of car Cary had. So they came across the broken down Scout SUV on the road, were able to find out who the owner was, and then they were able to find Cary at the nudist beach. And went up to him at the nudist beach.
Well, he's fucking dick out.
Yes, and questioned him. He quickly put his clothes on. And he was actually very calm and just like very like, "No, I wasn't there. Go ahead, search my truck if you want to." They actually did search his truck and his bag, and there was nothing of suspect in there.
Well, he's good at like.
He's good apparently at lying. Yeah. And so they kind of like, they couldn't really do anything. Like they couldn't arrest him or anything, right?
Like off
the road. But though But although Cary denied being in town, they had several more witnesses come forward saying that they saw a man that looked like him driving through the town in that car. So since they didn't have any hard evidence to arrest him, authorities went to the motel that he worked at to question him again. And again, he maintained his story, all of that kind of stuff. But while the cops were leaving, they took photos of his car.
I mean, at that point, this is the second
murder,
fourth
murder, but second crime.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
And his name has been brought up twice. There's no way that one of those like responding officers or detectives weren't like, this is like, I'm not letting this guy go.
Not a one of them at all linked him to the other crimes.
What a fucking idiot, Wads.
So the authorities visited him at the motel and they took a photo of his car and his tires.
Yeah.
Because there were tire marks left at Joey's cabin. The car had 4 different fucking wheels. 4 different treads. How much more distinct can you be?
Truly.
So after
you want your guy, I'll show you.
After the authorities left, they swiftly went back to the station, got the photos, identified very clearly that this was Cary's vehicle. But Cary got very nervous after the visit to the motel, and so he fled. And he fled to a nudist resort he had been to previously to lay low.
Hate this guy.
But he still interacted with guests, and he even interacted with somebody that he had known, I think the first night. And she didn't think anything of it. You know, she had met him, right? You know, they were friendly. But then she went back to her hotel room. She saw him on the freaking news because now he was wanted because he had fled.
Yeah.
And so she called the authorities, and they came the next morning.
Why didn't they come that night?
I don't know the exact timeline, but they came in, they were there, and they arrested him while he was getting breakfast.
Oh, okay, good.
But they said, like, to him, oh, you're not under arrest. We just need to talk to you. Maybe just to get him in, like, a little bit easier. So whatever, they brought him in for questioning, and he just kept denying. And then I don't know what happened, but he finally said, I will confess to all 4 murders on 3 conditions. They were like,
did they even know that they were getting him for 4? He was just like, I'll give you the 4.
They're pursuing this guy and his brother, even matching fibers. Yeah, that's how you know they fucking they
idiots
lie.
Yeah, they're like, no, we have fibers on this for the stop.
Just stop. Everybody stop what you're doing. So they're like, come again?
You mean you want to know what you're trying to pin on 2 other people?
Yeah, because like we already got this one. You're not doing the others. Would you like to know what his 3 conditions were?
Yes, please. I can't imagine.
1, he wants to be in a prison close to his family.
Okay.
He wants his parents to receive the $250,000 reward money from the Sund and Pelosso case, because I believe the Sund family had put that reward money out there to try to find information.
He's like, girl, you're the information. You can't just get the money because you're giving up yourself.
You're the murderer.
You're the one that did it.
And this is the last one.
Oh my God.
Cary said he knows that the FBI apprehends child porn and they have buckets of it, and he wanted some.
I swear to God, if they did any one of
I don't think they clearly didn't do the 3rd, but I don't think they gave him any of the requests, and he still confessed.
Okay, good. Well,
he confessed to everything. Yeah. And so the details that we have about both murders obviously come from him, and then also come from the forensic evidence of like the defensive wounds on Joey. You know what I mean? And there's certain things here and there. Obviously, there's, you know, signs of sexual assault or abuse on deceased bodies. I don't think there was any assault with Joey in terms of sexual assault because it was
so quick. He didn't have the control to do it.
Violent, and he was hoping it would be submissive, like the 15-year-old that he killed. This is a 26-year-old woman. She was going to get you.
Yeah. This is a 26-year-old mountain woman.
You're
going to think she's going to go down easy?
I know. That's so true. He was like, what? Like, what? Are you dumb?
Yeah, truly.
So Cary Stayner was tried in federal court in November of 2000 for the murder of Joie Armstrong, which he pleaded guilty, and he was sentenced to life in prison. So his Joey's family actually requested that there would be no trial and that there would just be a plea if he pled guilty, because they didn't want to be put through the spectacle.
Okay.
And they removed the death penalty because like California, I guess at the time the death penalty was there, but they haven't like killed anyone in years. So they were just like life in prison, just they don't want, right? And then 2 years later, he was...
No possibility of parole or anything like that.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, he was tried in state court for the murders of Carole Sund, Juli Sund, and Silvina Pelosso.
Okay.
In this case, Cary pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. But the jury rejected his claim, and the judge sentenced him to death 3 times over for each of their murders. But he's still living on death row.
Okay.
Or he's still living like life in prison.
Yeah, let's say that happens.
I didn't write this down, but I did see that he said, "I am sorry to the families of the victims that their loved ones were where they were at the time."
Don't even say sorry at all, you dumb idiot.
You dumb idiot.
You dumb fuck. That is such a, like, that's like, it's like a, what do they call that? A backhanded compliment.
It's like a backhanded
apology. Yeah. Like,
horrible.
You're the fucking reason why they're not here.
Yeah.
You're not sorry. You wanted that to happen. And honestly, you probably would have killed more women if you had the chance.
So,
if you were still out on the streets.
one more little tidbit.
What?
Something I didn't mention, because I also don't care about Cary Stayner, and I don't think bad things did happen to him allegedly when he was a kid. But honestly, fuck him. But one thing that did happen to him is that he became very close with his uncle. I don't know if it was paternal or maternal. After his brother's kidnapping, because obviously being in his family home was hard. There was a lot of tension, so he developed a relationship with his uncle and his cousins, and he would stay there a lot.
Okay.
He alleged that the uncle molested him at some point, but then he would still, like when he was younger, but then he would still go there as a teenager.
And your
smoke
brother
weed.
got raped for fucking years, and yet he didn't kill anybody.
But in 1990, his uncle was killed, shot.
Huh.
They really couldn't get Stayner on it.
But they believe it was him?
I think they suspected it, but they couldn't really prove it. And so they just chalked it up to a robbery gone wrong.
Interesting.
So after they arrested him, they started looking into that. I don't think any charges have been, put on him, but he probably did it.
Okay, so if he was molested, it still doesn't give him a reason to...
No, to kill his uncle, yeah.
But like, what a...
Stop with the uncle.
It's a scapegoat with a lot of these people.
That's why I was like, let me not get too in depth with his mental health problems and his struggles, because
it very well could have had him, he very well did. But like, that doesn't neglect the fact that not to fucking kill and rape and assault fucking people.
Absolutely.
That's fucking crazy.
So that is the story of the Yosemite National Park murders.
What a dumb cunt. Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
I bet you he's gross and rotten and fucking aged like milk.
I hope so.
Like most of them are.
Did you like it?
I did. I loved it. You did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
I love this one.
I wanted to do like a slightly different format than the ones I had. Like, there's a lot of articles out about it, but there was also, it's funny because there's articles that were written like in LA Times, like during when it was happening. So it's
love finding
interesting
those.
to see, and like the shade they were giving, like when Cary finally was like apprehended and they were pursuing these other people, they were just like shading the police. So I love that.
That was good. Thank you.
You're welcome. So thank you guys for tuning in for a deep dive episode.
We're so happy to get back to it.
Don't forget to join us next week for Graveyard Gossip, and keep stay tuned in every week for all of the new cases, stories, hauntings, updates, whatever we're gonna do. We love doing this.
Yes, and we love hearing from you guys. So
comment,
like. And don't forget to let us know if there's something you want to hear.
Please.
And with that, No.
We'll catch you in the shadows. Stay ghouly. That was good. I love it. You're like, why are you not saying stay ghouly with me?
And I was like, what happened? You're like,